Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhan Vitanscha Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraet. So, Chaitra Ratha Parva continuing, the Gandharva speaking to Arjuna and the Pandavas.
Say that again. Sorry. Oh yeah. Can you remember where? Can remind me where we are, where we
The
were?
Gandharva who assailed Arjuna when they were going in the dark, and they had a battle, and then they made friends, and then the Gandharva started having a discourse with them. So we're still in there,
Okay.
right? The Gandharva said, he was called Angaparva, something like that before. Anyway, he's a Gandharva called Chitraratha. O Partha, in the world there was a king named Kalmashapada. He was born in the lineage of Ikshvaku, and he was unrivaled on earth in his prowess. One day the king left his capital to go on a hunt in the forest. That chastiser of enemies shot many deer and boars. Hungry and thirsty, the king followed a narrow path and met Vashishta's great-souled son on the way. The son was an illustrious sage, and his name was Shakti. He was the illustrious extender of Vashishta's lineage and was the eldest of the great-souled Vashishta's 100 sons. As they came to face to face in opposite directions on the narrow path, the king said, "Move off from our path." The rishi then spoke to him in a soothing and kind voice, but did not yield the path, because he was following the path of Dharma.
Mhm.
Out of pride and anger at the sage, the king did not yield the path either. When the sage refused to give way, the best of kings, deluded like a Rakshasa, struck the sage with his whip. Thus struck by the whip, Vashishta's son, the best of sages, was angered and cursed that the best of kings. O worst of kings, since you have struck an ascetic like a Rakshasa, from today you will become a man-eater. O corrupt king, go from here and wander around the earth, eating human flesh. Thus Shakti cursed him through the strength of his powers. Vashishta and Vishwamitra had a quarrel over who should be the officiating priest. At that time, Vishwamitra came to that place. O Partha, the immensely powerful Vishwamitra, the rishi with great austerities, neared the place where the two were quarreling. After the curse on the great king, the rishi recognized the rishi, that means Shakti, was none other than Vashishta's son, as powerful as Vashishta himself. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, desiring to bring some benefit to himself, Vishwamitra remained there, but concealed himself by making himself invisible from them. Having been cursed by Shakti, that best of kings sought Shakti's mercy and worshipped him as to pacify him. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, Knowing the king's nature, Vishwamitra ordered a Rakshasa to enter the king's body. Because of the Brahmin Rishi's curse and because of Vishwamitra's instruction, a Rakshasa named Kinkara then entered the king's body. O chastiser of enemies! Knowing that the Rakshasa had entered the king's body, Vishwamitra, the best of sages, went away. Thereafter, the wise king was possessed and tormented by the Rakshasa within him and found it difficult to save himself. A certain Brahmin saw the king roaming in the forest. Being hungry, he begged for some food with meat. Rajarishi Kalmasha Pada Mitra Saha said, "O Brahmin, stay here for a while. When I return, I will give the food you desire to have." Having said this, the king went away, and that best of Brahmins remained there. But when he entered the inner quarters of his palace, the king forgot about his promise to the Brahmin and remembered it only at midnight. He told his cook, "Go to the forest. A Brahmin is waiting for me there, hoping to get some food. Take some meat to him." Having been thus addressed, the cook could not find any meat anywhere, and came and sorrowfully informed the king about this. Possessed by the Rakshasa, the king unhesitatingly told the cook, "Feed him human flesh," and repeated his instructions. Agreeing, the cook quickly went to where executioners lived and took some human flesh from them. Washing it and cooking it properly, he mixed it with rice and quickly took it to the hungry and ascetic Brahmana. Through his ascetic sight, the best of Brahmins immediately recognized the food to be forbidden. His eyes red with anger, he said, "That worst of kings has offered me food that is forbidden. Therefore, that deluded one will himself become fond of such food." Becoming fond of human flesh, as Shakti had cursed him earlier, he will roam the earth and persecute beings. Repeated for the second time, the curse on the king became very strong. Being possessed by the Rakshasa, the king soon lost all his senses. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, on seeing Shakti, that best of kings, having been deprived of his senses by the Rakshasa within him, said, "Because you have imposed this unparalleled curse on me, I shall begin my man-eating predicament by eating you first." Having said this, the king immediately separated Shakti from his life and ate him up, the way a tiger devours its favorite prey. Having seen Shakti killed thus, Vishwamitra urged the Rakshasa to kill Vashishta's other sons. Like
Ooh.
an angry lion devours small animals, he ate up all the younger sons of the great souled Vashishta.
Oh.
When Vashishta learnt that Vishwamitra had conspired to get his sons killed, he bore his grief patiently, like a great mountain bears the earth. That best of sages, chief among those who are intelligent, resolved to sacrifice himself rather than set his mind on extinguishing the Kushika lineage. The illustrious Rishi threw himself down from the peak of Mount Meru, and his head struck the stones like a bale of cotton.
What a
Oh,
sight.
Pandava, when the illustrious one found that the fall did not kill him, he lit a fire in that great forest and entered it. But though the flames blazed up high, they did not kill him. O chastiser of enemies! Instead, the blazing flames cooled him. Seeing the ocean, the grief-stricken and great sage tied a heavy stone around his neck and flung himself into the water. But the strong waves brought the great sage back to the shore. With a sorrowful heart, he then returned to his hermitage. 167. The Gandharva said, on seeing that his hermitage was bereft of his sons, the grief-stricken sage left it again. O Partha, he saw a river swollen with new water of the rainy season. It was sweeping away many trees that grew along the banks. O descendant of Puru, on seeing this, the miserable one again began to think that he would certainly be killed in this water. Thereupon the great sage bound himself with strong ropes, and, struck with great grief, flung himself into the waters of that great river. O chastiser of enemy armies! But the river tore those ropes away, and unfettered washed the rishi up onto the bank. Freed from the bindings, the great rishi arose and gave the river the name Vipasha. Footnote: Pasha means noose or bond, and Vipasha is something that frees one from a bond. Vipasha is identified with the river Beas. End of footnote.
Okay.
However, his mind was obsessed with grief, and he did not stay in any one place. He went to mountains, rivers, and lakes, seeing once more the terrible river Himavati. Footnote: Himavati can be the specific name for a river. Alternatively, it can be a general term for any river descending from the Himalayas. End of footnote. Terrible of appearance and full of fierce animals, he once more flung himself into its waters. That best of rivers, thinking that the Brahmana was fire, immediately fled in 100 directions, and thereafter came to be known as Shatadru, 100 channels. Finding that he was once again dry on land, he exclaimed that he was unable to die at his own hands, and returned to his hermitage. When he was returning to his hermitage, his daughter-in-law, Adrishyanti, followed him. As she came near, he heard the sound of Vedic incantations, embellished with the fullness of meaning of the 6 branches. Yeah. Who is following me? He asked. I am Adrishyanti, Shakti's wife. His daughter-in-law answered. O illustrious one, I am austere, engaged in austerities. Vasishtha said, O daughter, who is reciting the Vedas and their Angas that I hear? It is just as I have heard it from Shakti earlier. Adrishyanti said, in my womb there is begotten by a son begotten by Shakti. He has been there for 12 years. O sage, you have heard his recitations. Having been thus addressed by her, Vasishtha, the best of rishis, was greatly delighted, O Partha, exclaiming that there was a son, he refrained from death. The unblemished one returned, accompanied by his daughter-in-law. He found Kalmashapada seated in the deserted forest. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, on seeing him possessed by the Rakshasa, the king arose in anger and sought to devour him. But seeing the king of evil deeds, Adrishyanti spoke to Vasishtha in fear and alarm. O illustrious one, this terrible Rakshasa looks like death himself as he advances towards us with a fearful wooden club in his hand. O best among those who are learned in all the Vedas, except you, no one on earth has the power to ward him off. O illustrious one, save me from this evil one, whose form is terrible. Without a doubt, the Rakshasa is advancing towards us to devour us. 168. Vasishtha said, O daughter, do not be frightened. There is nothing to be frightened of from a Rakshasa. There is no danger from the one you see advancing. He is not a Rakshasa. He is King Kalmashapada, powerful and famous on earth. That terrible one lives in this part of the forest. The Gandharva said, O descendant of the Bharata lineage. As he advanced towards them, the illustrious and energetic Rishi Vashishta stopped him with a roar. He sprinkled water sanctified with mantras over him and freed the good king from the terrible Rakshasa. For 12 years, the king had been swallowed through the energy of Vashishta's son, like the sun is swallowed by the one who swallows at the time of an eclipse. Thus freed from the Rakshasa, the king reddened the great forest with his energy. Reddened, like the sun illuminates the evening clouds. Regaining his senses, the king worshipped Vashishta, the best of rishis, with joined palms, and said, "O illustrious one, O best of Brahmanas, I am the son of Sudasa. You are my preceptor. Tell me what your wish is now, and what I should do." Vashishta said, "O Lord of men, my desire was fulfilled. When the right time arrived, return to your kingdom and rule, and never again disregard Brahmanas." The king said, "O illustrious one, I shall never again disregard the bulls among the Brahmanas. In accordance with your instructions, I shall always worship the twice-born. O best among the twice-born, O best among those who are learned in the Vedas, I wish to obtain a boon from you, so that I can be freed from the debt I owe to the Ikshvaku lineage. I wish to have a son. Please go to my beloved queen, who is virtuous, beautiful, and has all the qualities, so that the Ikshvaku lineage can be extended." Vashishta, the best of Brahmanas, and always devoted to the truth, agreed to the desires of the great archer, the king. O king of men, after some time, Vashishta, accompanied by one without blame, footnote, the king, went to his capital, famous in this world as Ayodhya. In great joy, all the people came out to welcome the great souled and sinless one. The gods welcome as like the gods welcome their chief. Accompanied by the great souled Vashishta, the king of men soon entered his auspicious city. O king, the citizens of Ayodhya saw him like the sun rising in Pushya. O king, the most fortunate among those who are blessed with fortune, filled Ayodhya like the cool moon which fills the skies when it rises in the autumn. His mind was gladdened when he saw that supreme of cities, with its streets clean and washed, adorned with flags and pennants. O descendant of the Kuru lineage, that city was full of people who were happy and well fed. It looked as radiant as Amaravati in Indra's presence. Amaravati is the city of Indra. After the Rajarishi had entered the best of cities, the queen came to Vashishta at the king's command. When the season was right, Maharishi Vashishta, the rishi who always obtained the best share, united with her in accordance with the divine rites laid down by the gods. Thereafter, when the queen conceived through him, the best of sages received salutations from the king and returned to his hermitage. When she had carried the embryo for a long time, the famous lady split her womb open with a stone. O bull among men, after 12 years, Rajarishi Ashmaka was born, the one who founded the city of Potana. Do you want to go, Matura? I mean,
Sure. Okay. Yeah, that was fantastic. Okay. Wow. Splitting open with a
great.
stone. That's
Yes,
far out. Okay.
like a caesarean section.
Yeah. So I was thinking. The Gandharva said, "O king, living in the hermitage, Adrashanti gave birth to a son who was the extender of Shakti's lineage, who was like a second Shakti. O best of the Bharata lineage, the best of the sages, the illustrious one himself performed the prescribed birth ceremonies of his grandson. Because the sage Vashisht had resolved to kill himself, but refrained from doing so when he heard of the son in the womb, he was known in the world by the name of Parashara. From the date of his birth, that virtuous one knew Vashisht to be his father, and behaved towards him like a father. O Kunteya, O scorcher of enemies, when the child addressed the Brahmana Rishi Vashisht as father, in front of his mother, Adrishanti, she heard the sweet word, so full of meaning, uttered by him. Adrishanta spoke to him with tears in her eyes. O son, do not use the word father. The great sage is not your father. O son, your father was devoured by a rakshasa in the deep forest. O innocent son, the one you think of as your father is not your father. The illustrious one is the father of your famous father. Having been thus addressed, the best of rishis was grief-stricken, because he always spoke the truth. The great souled one resolved to destroy all the worlds. On seeing him thus resolved, the great souled Vashisht, great in austerities, gave reasons for refraining. Hear them. Vasishta said, there was a great king known by the name of Kritavirya. In this world, that bull among kings had as his priest the Brigus, the learned in the Vedas. At the end of his Soma sacrifice, the king gratified those who are the great first receivers of offerings with many presents of grains and riches. When that tiger among men had ascended to heaven, there came a time when his descendants were in need of riches. O son, knowing that the Brigus were affluent, those kings went to the best of the Brigus in the disguise of beggars to ask for riches. To save their indestructible riches, some of the Brigus buried them in the ground. Fearing danger from the Kshatriyas, others give away their riches to Brahmanas. O son, some of the Brigus gave them as much of their riches as they wanted, thinking that some other might find, sorry, thinking that some other use might be found for the Kshatriyas. O son, then one day, some of the Kshatriyas, according to their wishes, dug up the ground in the dwelling place of the Brigus and discovered a treasure. All the bulls among the Kshatriyas who were assembled there saw the treasure. Thereafter, angry and contemptuous, those supreme archers shot down the Brigus with their sharp arrows, though they craved for mercy. They travelled all over the world, killing even children in wombs. O son, when they were killed in this way, many Brigu wives fled in fear and sought refuge in the mountains of the Himalayas. Among them was a lady with beautiful thighs. She resolved to perpetuate her husband's race and kept her immensely energetic embryo hidden in her thigh, so that it might not be discovered. But the Kshatriyas discovered the Brahmana lady who blazed in her radiance. Then the child appeared, tearing her thigh open and blinding the eyes of the Kshatriyas like the midday sun. Thereupon, deprived of their eyesight, the Kshatriyas began to wander around in the different passes of the mountain. Frustrated in their desire and frightened, those bulls among the Kshatriyas sought refuge with their unblemished Brahmin lady, so that their eyesight might be restored. They were out of their minds with pain. They had lost their eyesight and were like a fire that had been put out. Those Kshatriyas spoke to the lady. O illustrious lady, through your grace, may the Kshatriyas regain their eyesight. All of us will depart from here with our evil deeds. You and your son should show us mercy. You should save these kings by restoring their eyesight to them. 170. The Brahmana woman said, O sons, I have not robbed you of your eyesight, nor am I angry with you. It is the Bhargava who has been born from my thigh who is angry with you. O sons, there is no doubt that your eyesight has been taken away by this great souled one whose anger has been aroused on remembering that you killed his relatives, O sons. When you destroyed even the Brigu sons in the wombs, I carried this child in my thigh for 100 years, so that he might do what is good for the Brigu lineage. All of the Vedas, including their 6 Angas, came to him when he was in the womb. Angry at the killing of his fathers, he certainly wishes to kill you. It is through his divine radiance that your eyesight has been destroyed. O sons, pray to Urva, the supreme son of mine. If he is placated through your homage, he may restore your eyesight. Vashishta said, having thus been addressed, all the kings addressed the son who had been born from her thigh and begged him for mercy. He was merciful. Since that supreme Brahmana Rishi was born after splitting open the thigh, he became known in the world by the name of Urva, Aurva, however you say that, or Aurva. Regaining their eyesight, the kings returned. But the Bhagava sage decided to bring about the destruction of the entire world. O son, that great souled one decided to bring about the destruction of all the worlds. In order to bring honor to the Brigus, that descendant of the Brigu lineage engaged in great austerities so as to bring about the destruction of all the worlds. Through his great and severe austerities, he burnt the worlds with the gods, the asuras, the men, and gratified his ancestors.
Can I
On
interrupt?
yes,
Do you know who this is?
is this Parashuram?
Parasharya, Parasara,
Oh, his father. Oh,
the
Vyasa's father. Vyasa's father.
Vyasa's father, the grandson of Vashishta.
Okay,
So
so
he's going to destroy, do a lot
wow,
of destroying.
I didn't, I didn't know that was his
Mm.
story. Anyway, it's great.
Anyway,
Oh,
carries on.
I'm not. I've taken off my video. God, shit. Sorry about that. On learning what the descendants of the lineage was planning to do, the ancestors descended from their world and told him, "O Ura, O son, we have witnessed the power of your severe austerities. Have mercy for the worlds and control your anger. O son, the self-controlled Brigus weren't powerless, nor were they indifferent to slaughter at the hands of the violent Kshatriyas. O son, when we got tired of our long lives, we ourselves wished for our deaths at the hands of the Kshatriyas. The riches that were buried in the ground in the dwelling place of the Brigus were placed there with the intention of angering the Kshatriyas and creating enmity with them. O bull among the twice born, what use are riches to us when we wish to attain heaven? O son, when we found that death was completely unable to overcome all of us, we thought this would be the most pleasant way. God, they're tricky, aren't they? Clever. O son, those who kill themselves never attain the best worlds, remembering that we did not kill ourselves with our own hands. O son, that which you desire does not please us at all. Therefore, control your mind and refrain from this evil destruction of all the worlds. O son, none of the Kshatriyas in the 7 worlds has offended or harmed our austerities. Win over the anger that has arisen in you. Wow.
Yes. Sorry, that wasn't very clear. It's Oliver,
Yeah.
but if this is Vashishta telling Parashara to dissuade him from such conduct. Yeah, he's telling the story about Oliver
Okay.
to Parashara.
To Parashaya.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Why isn't it clear? Because it's complicated. Yeah, I wish they'd make the conversation. I mean, okay, I kind of got okay. So it's a weird name, isn't it? Or I'll just read a bit more. Urava said, "O ancestors, in anger I took a vow that all the worlds would be destroyed, and that cannot go in vain because I cannot be one whose anger and vows come to God." So the next page, nothing. Without a doubt, my anger will consume me the way that fire consumes dry kindling. When anger arises from a reason that is just, a man who suppresses it cannot properly safeguard the 3 goals. Anger has the purpose of restraining the evil and protecting the good. Aha. Kings who wish to conquer heaven use their anger for a just cause. I was lying unborn inside my mother's thigh. I heard cries when my mother. Sorry, I was lying unborn inside my mother's thigh. I heard cries when my mothers of the Brigu lineage were slaughtered by the Kshatriyas. O ancestors, when those worst of the Kshatriyas slaughtered the Brigus, including those in wombs and the worlds ignored this, anger entered my heart. My mothers, heavy in their wombs, and my fathers were frightened, but did not find a protector in all the worlds. When the women of the Brigu lineage did not find a single protector, my fortunate mother hid me in one of her thighs. If there is one who punishes crimes in the world, no one in the worlds will dare to commit a crime. But if a crime doesn't find a punisher, many in the worlds will commit crimes. A man who has the power to punish a crime and doesn't do so despite knowing that a crime has been committed is himself tainted by the deed, even if he is the Lord. The kings and the others were capable of protecting my fathers, but failed to do so. Giving themselves up to the pleasures of life, they neglected their duties. Therefore, I have justifiable reason to be angry with the worlds, and am now their lord. Yes, I am not capable of disobeying your instructions, even though I am capable of punishing the crime. By refraining from doing so, I will once again encourage the spread of evil in the worlds. The anger in my rage wishes to consume the worlds. If I suppress it with my own powers, it will consume me with its energy. O lords, I know that you always strive for the welfare of the worlds. Therefore, instruct me on what is best for the worlds and for me. The ancestors said, this fire that is born from your anger wishes to consume the worlds. Cast it into the waters and be fortunate, because the worlds are established on water. Every juice consists of water. Indeed, the entire universe is made out of water. O best of the twice born, therefore release your anger into the water. O Brahmana, if you so desire, let the anger in your fire be the great ocean. Let it consume the water, because we have heard that the worlds are made out of water. O unblemished one, in this way your vow will remain true, and the worlds within the gods will not be destroyed. Vashishta said. Thereupon, Urava hurled the fire of his anger into Varuna's territory, and the fire consumes the waters of the great ocean. Those who are learned in the Vedas know that this has assumed the form of a large horse's head, which spouts fire from the mouth and consumes the waters of the great ocean. Okay. O Parasha, you are the foremost among those who are wise. You are familiar with the higher Dharma. Be blessed and refrain from destroying the worlds. That's a bit mysterious. Can you comment on that bit, Madan, about the horse, that bit?
What bit?
That last bit. Those who are learned in the Vedas know that it has assumed the form of a large horse's head. I mean, what's all that
Oh
about?
yes, then you know the fabled underwater fire.
No.
Yeah, there's a fire under the sea. You know, you sometimes see that in documentaries like underwater volcanoes and things.
But that's in the Vedas. That's what it's saying here.
It's
So the
mentioned.
okay,
Yeah,
so the fire, he threw that fire, and Baruna kind of kept it down there
yeah,
somewhere. Okay.
yeah.
Does anybody want to read next? Can I? Are you ready? Normally you go next. Are you ready? Or Dina? No. How are you for reading, Dina? Oh no, can I? You're normally
Well,
next.
yeah, I would like to read, but also I've been totally lost. Like since Vishwamitra and the other guy's name who begins with V were fighting over Nandini in the previous one, so I've not been able to follow along at all. Sorry.
Oh,
Do you
that's
have a
fine.
brief? I mean,
Well,
you
it's
remember
Okay, you need your father to give an overview of where we've just gone, a kind of synopsis of what's
well,
just
that would
it's
be
still
very
the
good.
Gandharva talking to Arjuna, right? And
Mm.
he's relating ancient histories. Kalmashapada, the king who became a man-eater, and when Vishishta took advantage of that and got a Rakshasa to enter him and killed all of Vashishta's sons. That was Vishwamitra's plan because he was a great enemy. They were rivals.
They're both Brahmins.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this lady, this Bhargava lady, hid the embryo in her thigh somehow and kept that for a long time. And when it came out, it vowed to destroy all the kings. So the reason this story is being told is because Parashara, his father was killed by that Rakshasa, if you remember, Shakti, when he wouldn't move
Yeah.
off the path. And so now, because that's what happened to his father, Parashara is thinking of doing something like that as well. So this story is being told by his grandfather, Vashishta, to try and dissuade him from it. So he's in the middle of a story, he's going to destroy the world. The ancestors have come to him and said, no, you shouldn't do that. And then, so what should I do? So I'll throw it in the sea.
It's a
All right.
story. It's a story within a story within a story, isn't it? Kind of thingy.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
It
Yeah.
is confusing. It's thank you. I think it's good like that sometimes to stop and have a little overview, so it helps us all kind of orientate and helps us kind of understand what
Yeah.
we've just heard because it is very, very complex. It is a
yeah,
story within a story within
Yeah.
a
And then
story.
if you lose the
Oh,
connection, it can just keep going and you're just lost, isn't it? All right.
yeah. It makes a difference when you do get it. It does. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you can't. You're just hearing stuff, and you're not really. It's hard to go. Your brain. There needs to be the connect in the brain somehow or other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's your turn. Go.
Okay. Let's go.
You can keep right on it now because you're reading it. Okay.
172.
Yeah.
The Gandharva said, having been thus addressed by the great-souled Vashishta, the Brahmana Rishi controlled his anger, Shakti San Parashara, which would have destroyed all the worlds. But the immensely energetic Parashara, Shakti's son and chief among those who were learned in the Vedas, performed a Rakshasa sacrifice. Remembering Shakti's slaughter, the great sage began to consume Rakshasas, old and young, in that sacrifice. Not wishing to restrain him from this second vow, Vashishta did not prevent him from destroying the Rakshasas. The great sage sat at that sacrifice, with 3 blazing fires in front of him. He himself looked like a 4th fire. Many were the offerings that were poured at this radiant sacrifice, and the sky was lit up like the sun emerging from behind the clouds. Vashishta and the other sages regarded the sage, blazing with his own radiance, like a second sun. Thereupon, the great and noble-minded sage, Atri, came to that place, wishing to put an end to the sacrifice, a task that would have been impossible for anyone else to accomplish. O destroyer of enemies, so I don't know who's actually speaking here, but O destroyer of enemies, Pulastya, Pulaha, and Kratu also came, this must be the Gandharva speaking, also came to that sacrifice,
Yeah.
since they also desired that the Rakshasas should live. Right. O bull of the Bharata lineage, O Partha, on seeing that many Rakshasas had already been killed, Pulastya spoke to Parashara, that chastiser of enemies. O son, do you find no obstructions in the way of this sacrifice? O son, do you find pleasure in killing all these Rakshasas who are ignorant and innocent? They're innocent because they had nothing to do with the Shakti's death. O Parashara, you are foremost among those who drink the Soma juice. You should not destroy all my progeny in this way. You are a virtuous man. You should not think that the path of Adharma will be good for you. King Kalmashapad himself wishes to ascend to heaven. Shakti's younger brothers, sons of the great sage Vashishta, are now enjoying great happiness in the company of the gods. O son, O hermit, All this was known to the great sage Vashishta, including the destruction of the Rakshasas. O Vashishta's descendant, you have only been an instrument in this sacrifice. Be fortunate and give up this sacrifice. Let it come to an end now. Having been thus addressed by Pulascha and the wise Vashishta, Shakti's son Parashara brought an end to the sacrifice. The sage threw away the fire that had been lit for the Rakshasa sacrifice into the great forest that was to the north of the Himalayas. Even today the fire is always visible there in all the seasons, consuming Rakshasas, trees, and rocks. 173. Arjun said, why did King Kalmashapad himself call and instruct his wife, preceptor, supreme among those who are learned in the Vedas? Why did the great soul Maharishi Vashishta, who knew the path of supreme Dharma, agree to go to a woman who was forbidden? Why were these acts done earlier? I wish to know. Tell me in detail. The Gandharva said, O Dhananjaya, O one who cannot be repulsed, listen to my answer about the unassailable Vashishta and King Mitrasaha. King Mitrasaha is King Kalmashapad, another name. O best of the Bharat lineage, I have already told you how the king was cursed by Shakti, Vashishta's great-souled son. Thus, under the influence of that curse, the king, that scorcher of enemies, came out of the city with his wife, his eyes rolling with anger. He went to a deserted forest with his wife and roamed around there. Under the influence of the curse, he roamed around in that forest, frequented by many beasts and other animals, overgrown with many plants and creepers, dense with many large trees, and echoing with horrible howls. Once, obsessed with extreme hunger and exhausted, he saw in a lonely part of the forest a Brahmana and a Brahmani about to engage in an act of sexual union. Seeing him, the pair was frightened and ran away, their desire unsatisfied. Pursuing them, the king forcibly grabbed the Brahmana. Seeing that her husband had thus been seized, the Brahmani said, O king, who is always rigid in his vows, listen to what I have to say. It is known in all the worlds that you have been born in the solar dynasty. You have always been established in the path of Dharma, and you have always served your preceptors. O unassailable one, though you have been deprived of your senses through a curse, do not commit an evil act. When my season had come, I was about to unite with my husband so as to obtain offspring. But I have not been successful and have great need. O best of kings, be merciful to me and let my husband go. While she was crying thus, the king cruelly ate up her husband, the way a tiger devours a deer. On account of her anger, tears fell from her eyes on the ground and became a blazing fire that burnt up everything there. Grief-stricken and enraged at the death of her husband, the Brahmani cursed Rajarishi Kalmashapad. O evil-minded one, today you have cruelly devoured before my own eyes my illustrious and beloved husband, even though I was not satisfied. Therefore, through my curse, you will meet with instant death when you unite with your wife when she is in season. Rishi Vashishta, whose sons you have eaten, will unite with your wife and she will give birth to a son, O worst of kings. That son will perpetuate your lineage. Having thus cursed the king, that fortunate lady of the Angiras lineage entered the flaming fire in his presence. O scorcher of enemies, The immensely fortunate Vasishtha knew all this through his great austerities and his powers of knowledge that come through yoga. After a long time, the Rajarishi was freed from the curse and went to his wife Madayanti when she was in season, but she repulsed him. Deluded by the curse, the king had no recollection of the curse. On hearing the lady's words, that best of kings remembered the curse and was greatly alarmed. O best of the Bharat lineage, it was for this reason that the king requested Vasishtha to accept his own wife, because he suffered from the curse. So, section 12, Draupadi Svayamvar Parva. Svayamvar is a form of marriage where the bride chooses her own groom. The Parva is about Draupadi choosing her own groom. 174. Arjun said, "O Gandhar, you know everything. Tell us who tell, tell us who, learned in the Vedas, is fit to be appointed our priest." The Gandharva said, "There is a tirtha in this forest known as Utkochaka. Devala's younger brother Domya is engaged in practicing austerities there. If you wish, you can appoint him as your priest." Vaishampayana said. Then Arjuna happily gave the Gandharva his Agneya weapon, in accordance with the prescribed rituals. He said, "O best of the Gandharvas, keep the horses for the moment. We shall take them from you when we need them. Be blessed." Then the Gandharva and the Pandavas respectfully saluted each other and left the beautiful banks of the Bhagirathi to go wherever they wished. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, the Pandavas went to Utkochaka Tirtha and Domya's hermitage. They instated Domya as their priest. Domya, foremost among those who know all the Vedas, received them with water to wash their feet, and with offerings of fruits and roots from the forest. He agreed to be their priest. Having obtained the Brahmana at their forefront, the Pandavas were hopeful of obtaining riches and the kingdom, and of winning Panchali in the Svayamvar, with their mother constituting the sixth person of the group. Those bulls of the Bharata lineage considered themselves well protected, now that they had a preceptor. For the noble preceptor knew the subtle nuances of the Vedas well. He made the virtuous sons of Pritha his disciples in learning all the knowledge. Seeing that those warriors were already endowed with intelligence, valor, strength, and perseverance equal to that of the gods, he decided that they were already restored to their kingdom through their own virtues. He blessed them. Those kings among men decided to go with him to the Svayamvara in Panchala. I guess I could go one more if you're happy with that. Yeah? Oh, yeah, it's not long. Yeah. Vaishampayana said, "Then those tigers among men, the 5 Pandava brothers, set out to see Draupadi and the great and divine festival. Those tigers among men, the scorchers of enemies, and their mother, saw many Brahmanas who were headed in the same direction. O king, those Brahmanas asked the Pandavas, who were travelling as brahmacharis, 'Where are you going? Where have you come from?' Sorts of questions. Yudhishthira said, 'O revered ones who have seen the gods, know that we are brothers who have come from Ekachakra and are travelling with our mother.' The Brahmanas said, 'Then you should now go to the house of Drupad of Panchala. A large Svayamvar ceremony will be held there, with a lot of riches. We are going there ourselves.' Let us go together. A great ceremony with wonderful events will take place there. The great-souled Yajnasen, Drupad, obtained a daughter from the middle of the sacrificial altar, and her eyes are like lotus petals, with unblemished features and beauty, youth and intelligence. She is the sister of the powerful Dristadumna. Ah, remember this? Drona's enemy. He arose from the blazing fire, as resplendent as the fire, with mighty arms, natural armor, sword, and bow and arrows. His sister is the slender-waisted Draupadi, whose form is flawless. Her body emits the fragrance of a blue lotus from a distance of 1 krosha. Yajnasen's daughter will choose a husband at the Svayamvar. We are going there to see her and witness the divine and great festival. Kings and princes from different regions will be present there, performers of sacrifices at which large quantities of alms are offered, those devoted to studying, pure, great-souled, those devoted to their vows, young, handsome, Maharatas, and those skilled in the use of weapons. Desiring victory, those kings of men will give away a lot of riches, cows, food grains, and other objects of pleasure. Accepting whatever they offer and witnessing the Svayamvar and all the festivities, we will then go wherever we wish. Actors, bards, dancers, raconteurs, panegyrists, and powerful wrestlers will assemble from many countries. Oh, great-souled ones! After witnessing those wonderful sights and accepting what is offered, you can also return with us. You are handsome, you look like gods. On seeing you, Krishna Draupadi may decide that one of you is the best and choose you.
Yeah.
This brother of this brother of yours is handsome of appearance and has powerful arms. He may win those wrestling bouts and obtain great riches. Yudhisthira said, "We will go with you to witness that supreme and great divine festival, the ladies' Svayamvar."
It's such a brilliant chapter, isn't it? They go through that, and it's just like the ultimate kind of mythology. Every culture would like to have this, where the heroes come in, and it's a city, and they're going to blow everybody's mind, and it's happening. It's because all the people will be able to who are hearing the story. They're not the city dwellers, the forest dwellers with all the rakshasas. They live in towns and stuff, and so this is all going to be
Yeah,
relatable, very relatable to.
Your
yeah.
video is off. Must already know that.
What?
Your video is off.
Oh yeah,
You
sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I did. I forgot about that. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, yeah.
carry on a bit more, no?
Oh
I
yeah.
can't. I don't mind. I mean, I could carry on now or carry on later. I'll carry on now for a bit,
Just yeah, just
and
You're
okay.
on you're on a roll. It's good. Heroic
Yes.
deeds need young heroic people to recite them, I think, in
then
acts.
I'll call Brudge because he's upstairs.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He's participating, but when Kano's done, Brudge can come down and have a turn.
Well, I will leave it to you to coordinate.
Well, Kano, you say when you feel like you've had a good time of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. 176. So, on their way to town to the festival with the Brahmanas, Vaishampayana said, "O Janamejaya, having been thus addressed, the Pandavas headed for the southern part of Panchala, ruled by King Drupad. On their way, the brave Pandavas met the great-souled, the pure-souled, unblemished, and illustrious sage Dvaipayana, and paid their respects to him in accordance with the prescribed rites. He too showed them his respect, and after their conversation was over, on his instructions, they proceeded to Drupada's palace. Those Maharatas proceeded slowly, stopping when they saw beautiful forests and lakes. At last, Kuru's descendants, devoted to learning, pure, amiable, and sweet of speech, arrived in Panchala. After seeing the city and the royal residence, the Pandavas lodged in a potter's house. Adopting the lifestyle of Brahmanas, they begged for their food. No one recognized those warriors when they stayed there. Yajnasen always desired to give Krishna to Kiriti. Kiriti is one of Arjun's names, Pandu's son. But he never revealed this to anyone. O Janame Jaya, O descendant of the Bharat lineage, thinking of Kunti's son, the Panchala got a very hard bow constructed, one that no one else would be able to bend. He had an artificial machine set up above, and onto this machine he fixed a golden target. Drupada said, "He who can string this bow, and after stringing, shoot the target above with these arrows, will obtain my daughter." With these words, King Drupad announced the Svayamvar everywhere. O descendant of the Bharata lineage, hearing this, all the kings assembled. Many great-souled rishis also came there, wishing to witness this Svayamvar. O king, the Kauravas, led by Duryodhan, also came there, accompanied by Karna. Many illustrious Brahmanas also came from many countries. The great-souled Drupad duly worshipped the kings. All the citizens and all the kings took their seats, resulting in a roar like that of the ocean full of porpoises. The platform was constructed on the northeast of the city, on a flat and auspicious piece of ground. The beautiful meeting place was surrounded by houses on all sides. It was enclosed by a wall and a moat on all sides, decorated with gates, and covered everywhere with a colourful canopy. It echoed to the sound of many musical instruments, was scented with the agaru, which is agalochum, a soft resinous wood with an aromatic smell burnt as perfume.
Fantastic, my favourite.
Adorned with garlands and sprinkled with sandalwood water. So that's their platform construction. So large and white palaces that were well built surrounded it on all sides, like the peaks of Kailash when they touched the sky. The windows were covered with golden trellises, and the walls sparkled with mosaic work of precious stones. The stairs were easy to climb. The seats were covered with expensive cloth that was not like those that came from villages. They were white like swans and scented with agaru, so that the fragrance could be smelt 1 yojana away. Each palace had 100 doors and had beautiful seats and couches. The expensive beds had many metals on them, like the peaks of the Himalayas. All the kings were seated on many stories of these palaces, each one decorated with many ornaments, and boastful of his success, these kings. Those tigers among kings were scented with the paste of black agaru, and were greatly fortunate, devoted to the Brahmanas, protectors of their realms, and loved by all the worlds because of their good deeds. When they were seated on their royal seats, the inhabitants of the city and of the country who had come to see Krishna also took their seats. As Krishna Draupadi. The Pandavas took their seats with the Brahmanas and witnessed the unrivaled splendor of the king of Panchala. O king, for many days the numbers who had assembled increased. Many jewels were distributed, and many dancers and actors provided entertainment. O bull of the Bharata lineage, on the 16th day, when there was a crowd, Draupadi bathed, wore the best of clothing, and adorned herself with many ornaments. She descended into the arena, carrying in her hand a beautifully adorned golden prize for the winner. After pouring offerings of ghee to the sacrificial fire according to the prescribed rites, the priest of the Somakas, footnote, that is, those of the lunar dynasty, an epithet for the Panchalas. So the priest of the Somakas, a pure Brahmana, learned in the mantras, uttered salutations of peace to the fire and to Brahmanas, and stopped the playing of all musical instruments. O ruler of the earth! When everything was quiet, Drishtadyumna went to the center of the arena and spoke, in a thundering voice, words that were deep with meaning and sweet. O assembled kings! Hear that this is the bow, that is the target, and these are the arrows. With these 5 arrows, shoot the target through the hole in the center of the machine. I truly say that the handsome and strong one, born in a noble family, who accomplishes this great feat today, will obtain as his wife my sister Krishna. Having thus addressed the assembled kings, Drupada's son spoke to Draupadi, recounting to her the lineages and deeds of the assembled kings. I'll read that because it's I'll just read 177 as well because it's just names. I'll just to wrap that up, and then someone else can take over. And there's still a lot of names, but okay, I'll carry a bit of that. 177. Dristadumna said, Duryodan Dirvisaha Durmukha Dushpradashan Vivimshati Vikarna Saha Dushasana Sama Yuyutsu Vatavega Bhima Vegadara Ugrayudha Balaki Kanakeyu Virochana Sukundala Chitrasen Suvarcha Kanakadvaja Nandaka Bahushali Kunduja and Vikata. These and others are the immensely powerful sons of Dhritarashtra. These warriors have come with Karna for your hand. Hundreds are the famous and great-souled kings, bulls among the Kshatriyas, Shakuni, Bala, Rishaka, and Brihadbala. All these sons of the great Gandhara have come, adorned with every ornament. The great-souled warriors, Ashvatam and Boja, skilled in the use of all weapons, have come. The kings Brihanta, Manimana, and the valiant Dandadara, Sahadev, Jayatsen, Megasandi of Magadha, Virata and his 2 sons Sanka and Uttara, Vardakshemi, Susharma, King Senabindu, Abhibu, with his sons Sudamna and Suvarchasa, Sumitra, Sukumara, Vrika, Satyadriti, Suryadvaja, Rachaman, Nila, Chitrayudha, Amshumana, Jekitana, the immensely powerful Shrenimana, Chandrasen, the powerful son of Samudrasen, Jalasamda, the father and son, Vidanda and Danda, Pondraka, Vasudev, the valorous Bhagadat, Kalinga, Bhagadatta, Kalinga, Tamralipta, the king of Patana, the Maharata Shalya, king of Madra with his sons, the brave Rukmanda and Rukmarata, the Kaurava Somadatta and his 3 Maharata sons, Buri, Burishrav and Shala, Sudakshina, Kamboja, the Kaurava Dridhathanva, Brihadbala, Sushena, Ushinara's son Shibi, Samkarshana, Vasudev, Rukmini's brave son Samba, Charudeshna, Sarana, Gada, Akrura, Satyaki, the immensely powerful Urava, Kritika's son Kritivarma, Prithu, Vipritu, Vidurata, Kanka, Samika, Saramajaya, the brave Vatapati, Jili, Pindaraka, the brave Ushinara, all famous as descended from the Vrishni lineage. Bhagirat, Brihat Kshetra, Jayadrat, the king of Sindhu, Brihadrata, Balika, the Maharat Shrutayu, Uluka, King Kaitava, Chitranganda, Subanganda, the patient king of Vatsa, the king of Kochal. Lots of guys. O fortunate one, these and many other kings of many regions, famous on earth, have come here for you. That's Drupad's son talking to Draupadi now. I'm just bit, yeah. These brave ones will try to shoot the excellent target for your hand. O beautiful one, you will choose as a husband the one who hits it. Okay, I'm gonna stop there then.
Okay, I'll take over then. Vishampayana said, "Those useful kings were adorned with earrings. Each regarded himself as the most skilled in the use of weapons. All of them stood up and brandished their weapons. They boasted at one another, insolent with beauty, valor, lineage, virtue, riches, and use. They were like kings of elephants from the Himalayas, drunk in the season of rut. They stared at each other in insolence. Mentally struck with desire, they suddenly stood up from their royal seats and exclaimed, 'Krishna will be mine!' Assembled in that arena and eager to win Drupada's daughter, they looked like gods who stood around Uma, the daughter of the king of the mountains. Their bodies were pierced with the arrows of the god of love. They completely lost their hearts to Krishna. They descended into the arena feeling hatred for their own relatives for Draupadi's sake. The gods came in their heavenly chariots. The Rudras, the Adityas, the Vasus, the twin Ashvins, all the Sadyas and all the Maruts, with Yama and the god of wells at the forefront. There also came the Daityas, the Suparnas, the great Uragas, the Devarshis, the Guyakas, the Charanas, Vishvavasu, Narada, Parvata, the chief Gandharvas with the Apsaras, Halayuddha, Janardhana, and the chief amongst the Vrishnis and the Andakas. So Krishna and Balaram are there too. Halayuddha is.
Who's not there? That's the question. I mean, everybody is there. And it's kind of a who's who of everybody. Do you know what struck me is they're all going to be dead quite after the Battle of Kurukshetra. All of these people. It's a,
Mhm.
I didn't realize how why the whole Draupadi incident is so crucial into the split because they all so envious.
Mhm.
I didn't realize. I didn't really realize that. Anyway, I'll let you carry on. It's kind of like becoming clearer now.
Yes. The chiefs among the Yadus, always devoted to Krishna, were also there, witnessing it. On seeing the five Pandavas, like elephants in rut that had come to a lake full of lotuses, like a fire covered with ashes, the chief of the Yadus began to wonder. He told Rama, "That is Yudhishthir, that is Bhima, and that is Jishnu, and those are the valorous twins." Glancing at them leisurely, Rama cast a pleased glance at Janardhana. Biting their own lips in anger, those other warriors, the son and grandsons of kings, had set their eyes, hearts, and natures on Krishna. Biting their lips, and with faces that were like copper in color, they only looked at her. On seeing Draupadi, Prita's mighty armed sons and the brave and great natured twins were struck with the arrows of the god of love. The place was full of gods, rishis, Gandharvas, Suparnas, Nagas, Asuras, and Siddhas, pervaded with divine fragrances and covered with divine garlands. A great roar arose from the drums, and the sounds of the flute, the veena, and cymbals echoed. The
Wow.
celestial roots were crowded with the heavenly chariots of the gods. Then, one after another, those kings exhibited their valor for Krishna. But the bow was so strong that with all their strength they could not string it. The firm wood of the bow recoiled and flung those brave rulers of men on the ground. They failed in their desire and could be seen on the ground miserable and broken in spirit. That firm bow caused them pain and shattered their bracelets and earrings. Having lost hopes of obtaining Krishna, the that assembly of kings was crestfallen. In that assembly, those kings who boasted of noble births then became objects of derision. Kunti's brave son Jishnu then arose, wishing to string the bow and place an arrow on it. 179. Vishampayana said, when all the kings gave up attempting to string the bow, the great soul Jishnu arose from among the Brahmanas.
Who's Jishnu?
Arjuna.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought. Yeah.
On seeing Partha advance, Arjuna again, with a complexion resplendent like that of Indra's flag, the chief Brahmanas shook their deer skins and created a loud uproar.
Shake that deer skin. I've never
Some
heard.
of them were pleased, others were displeased. Others among them who lived with their wisdom and were wise told each other, O Brahmanas, if Kshatriyas like Karna and Shalya, who are famous in the world, have great strengths that are well versed in Dhanurveda, could not string the bow, how can this weakling Brahmana with no knowledge of weapons succeed? If he
Weakling.
fails to succeed in an act that he has undertaken because of his juvenile inexperience, the Brahmanas will become object of ridicule in the eyes of the king. Therefore, stop him from attempting to string the bow. He is doing it out of vanity and childishness, inexperienced at being a Brahmana. We will not be ridiculed, not incur anyone's disrespect, nor will we displease the king of this world. Others said, he is handsome and useful. He is like the trunk of the king of elephants. His shoulders, arms, and thighs are built well. In perseverance, he looks like the Himalayas. One who is so resolute may well accomplish the task. Without a doubt, he has great strength and great endeavor. Without these, he would not have gone on his own. Besides, among the three orders, there is no task in the world that Brahmanas cannot accomplish. Brahmanas abstain from food, live on air, eat only fruit, observe rigid vows, and become weak, yet retain the strength of their own energy. A Brahmana should not be looked down upon, whether his deeds are right or wrong. No one should consider him incapable of performing a deed, big or small, pleasing or unpleasant. The Brahmanas continued to voice their opinions in this way. Arjuna came to where the bow was and stood there like a stationary mountain. Circumambulating the bow in accordance with the rites, the scorcher of enemies bowed his head to the bow and joyously grasped it. In the quick twinkling of an eye, he strung the bow and grasped the 5 arrows. Through the hole in the machine, he suddenly pierced the target, and it fell down on the ground. Thereupon, a great roar was heard in the sky, and a great clamor arose in the assembly. The gods rained down celestial flowers on Partha's head, that killer of enemies. All the spectators waved their upper garments in joy, or uttered sounds of despair. Flowers showered down from the sky. The musicians played on hundreds of instruments. In a sweet voice, the bards and the raconteurs began to chant the praises of the hero. Seeing the destroyer of enemies, Drupada was extremely happy and wished to help Partha with his army, should the need arise. When the uproar reached its peak, Yudhishthira, foremost among those who tread the path of Dharma, swiftly left the assembly and went home, accompanied by the twins, supreme among men. On seeing the target shot and on seeing Partha, the equal of Shakra, Indra, Krishna was extremely happy. She went to Kunti's son with a garland of white flowers. All the Brahmanas paid homage to the one who had accomplished the unthinkable and had won her in the assembly. He soon left the arena, followed by the one who would be his wife. 180. Veshampayana said, when the king expressed his desire to give his daughter to that great soul Brahmana, all the assembled kings looked at each other and were filled with anger. The king said, "We are assembled here, and he passes us over like straw. He wishes to give Draupadi supreme among women to a Brahmana. This evil-hearted one does not respect us. Let us kill him." It's funny because he was telling Drona, "Oh, you're a Brahmana. I'm a king. What do you have?" And now he's giving his daughter to a Brahmana.
Well, they're all hypocrites, really.
This evil-hearted one does not respect us. Let us kill him. He does not deserve our respect or veneration because of qualities of age. On account of this, let us kill this wretch who insults kings and their sons. After inviting and entertaining in the proper fashion all the kings with food, he then shows them disrespect. In this assembly of kings, which is like a conclave of the gods, can he not find a single king who is his equal? The sacred text clearly say that a Swayamvara is for Kshatriyas. Brahmana have no right in the choice of a husband. O king, if this lady does not wish one of us as her husband, let us throw her into the fire and return to our kingdoms.
Woo!
Though that Brahmana has done injury to kings out of his impertinence and greed, he should not still be killed. After all, our kingdoms, lives, riches, sons, grandsons, and all our other wealth exist for the sake of Brahmanas. But something must be done to prevent insult and to protect our own dharma, so that other Swayamvaras do not end like this one. Having said this, those tigers among kings, with arms like clubs, rushed at Drupada with diverse weapons so as to kill him. Seeing those angry kings rush at him with bows and arrows, Drupada was frightened and sought the protection of the Brahmanas. However, as those kings rushed at Drupada like mad elephants, Pandu's two sons, the great archers who conquered their enemies, advanced to repulse them. Thereupon, all the kings, their fingers clad in armor and with their weapons raised, violently rushed towards the Kuru princes, Arjuna and Bhimsen. Bhima, the performer of amazing deeds, with immense strength and like a thunderbolt, tore up a large tree with his hands and stripped it of all its leaves, like an elephant. With that tree, the mighty armed Bhima, Prita's son, and the destroyer of enemies, stood next to Partha, bull among men and with long and thick arms, like Yama with his terrible staff. On seeing the unthinkable feats of Jishnu and his brother Damodara, another name for Bhima. No, wait.
Krishna.
No, Krishna, sorry. On seeing the unthinkable feats of Jishnu and his brother Damodara, Krishna, the one with superhuman intelligence turned to his brother Halayuddha, Balaram, himself the performer of awesome deeds, and said, "O Sankarshan, the warrior who has the gait of a mad bull and who holds a great bow that is 4 cubits long in his hands must be Arjuna. If I am Vasudev's son, there can be no doubt about this. The warrior who has uprooted a tree with his strength and is instantly ready to repulse the kings is undoubtedly Vrikodara, Bhima. No other mortal on earth can perform such a great feat, such a feat today. O Achyuta, the other one who left
A
a while
while.
ago, with eyes like lotus petals, slender and with the gait of a powerful lion, humble, fair, and with a long and shining nose, must have been Dharmaraj. A long and shining nose. I'm
Aquiline, I
sh-
think.
hmm?
I think it means aquiline. Yeah.
I am sure that the other two youths, each like Kartikeya, must have been sons of the two Ashvins. I had heard that Pandu's son and Prita had escaped from the fire in the house of Lak. Halayuddha, with a complexion like that of clouds, happily spoke to his younger brother. I am delighted that our father's sister Prita, with the foremost of the Kurus, has escaped. We will fight with the enemies. Arjuna smilingly told those
Wait a
Brahmanas.
minute. Where have you gone?
Oh, wait, sorry.
Where have you got? You suddenly escaped it.
Yeah, sorry,
181.
181.
Yeah.
Vishampayana said, those bulls amongst the Brahmanas shook their deer skins and water pots and said, Do not be frightened. We will fight with the enemies. Arjuna smilingly told those brahmanas, stand aside as spectators. I will repress those kings like poisonous snakes with mantras, with showers of hundreds of sharp pointed arrows. Having said this, the Maharata took up the bow he had obtained as dowry, and accompanied by his brother Bhima stood there like an immovable mountain. Seeing the Kshatriyas, with Karna leading them, furious to do battle, they fell upon them, like two elephants against hostile elephants. Eager to fight, those kings then said, it is permissible to kill a Brahmana who is willing to fight. Then the mighty Vekartana, Karna, rushed at Arjuna, eager to fight, like an elephant rushes at a rival over a female elephant. Shalya, king of the Madras, rushed at Bhimsen. Duryodhana and the others rushed at the Brahmanas, but they fought with them lightly and carelessly. Seeing Vaikartana Karna rush towards him, the wise Arjuna stretched his mighty bow and pierced him with 3 arrows. The impact of these sharp arrows stunned Radheya, Karna, and he approached with greater circumspection. Then those two invincible warriors fought violently, each eager to vanquish the other. Such was the speed that they became invisible. Look at the strength in my arms. See how I countered that. They taunted each other in words that only warriors understand. Seeing the valor in Arjuna's arms, unparalleled on earth, Vaikartana Karna fought even more vigorously. Repulsing Arjuna's swift arrows, Karna shouted out loud, and the warriors applauded his feat. Karna said, O foremost among Brahmanas, I am pleased with the strength of your arms, which do not tire in battle, and with your persistent control over weapons. O supreme among Brahmanas, are you Rama, Parashuram, the personification of the knowledge of weapons, Dhanurveda? Or are you Harihaya himself, Indra? Or are you Achyuta Vishnu himself? Have you assumed the form of a Brahmana to disguise yourself and are now fighting strongly with me for self-preservation, mustering the strength of your arms? When I am angry in the field of battle, no one except Sachi's husband and Pandava Kiriti can withstand me. So no one but Indra and Arjuna could withstand Karna. Hearing these words, Falguni, Arjuna replied, O Karna, I am not the science of weapons personified, nor am I the powerful Rama. I am only a Brahmana, chief among warriors, and supreme among those who have the knowledge of weapons. Through my preceptor's grace, I have become skilled in the use of Brahma and Purandara weapons. Purandar is Indra's names, hence Indra's weapons. O warrior, wait for a bit. I stand here today to vanquish you in battle. At these words, Radheya Karna withdrew from the battle because the Maharata thought that Brahmana's strength was invincible. In another part of the arena, Shalya and Vrikodara, both warriors with great strength and knowledge of fighting, were engaged in battle. Calling out to each other, they fought like two mad and great elephants, striking each other with clenched fists and knees. For a while, they dragged each other around in the duel. Then the immensely powerful Bhima raised Shalya up in with his arms and hurled him down on the ground. The Brahmanas began to laugh. Bhimsen, bull among men, surprised everyone. But though he hurled the powerful one on the ground, he did not kill him. When Shalya was thus hurled down by Bhima and Karna scared away, all the other kings were frightened and surrounded Brikodara. They said, these bulls among Brahmanas are supreme. Let us find out in what lineage they were born and where they live. Who can fight with Radheya Karna in battle except Rama, Drona, Sharadvata, Kripa, Devaki's son Krishna, and Falguni, the scorcher of enemies? Who can fight against Duryodhana? Who can vanquish in battle the powerful Shalya, king of Madra and chief amongst warriors, except the brave Baladev and Pandavat Brikodara, Bhima? Therefore, let us desist from this fight against the Brahmanas. Let us find out who they are, and then we will happily fight with them again. On witnessing Bhima's feat, Krishna believed them to be Kunti's sons. He gently restrained the assembled kings and said, "This lady has been warned according to Dharma." Thereupon those best of kings, skilled in battle, refrained from the fight and returned to their kingdoms wonderstruck. Those who had assembled there went away exclaiming that the Brahmanas had won the day and Panchali had become the wife of a Brahmana. Surrounded by Brahmanas attired in the skins of deer and other animals, Bhimsen and Dhananjaya found it difficult to pass.
Say that again. They found, what was that?
Get through the crowd.
Oh, okay. Surrounded by Brahmanas attired in the skins of deer and other animals, Bhimsen and Dhananjaya found it difficult to pass, I guess, through the crowd. Eventually, those radiant warriors among men freed themselves from the crowd, followed by Krishna. Yes. Their mother had been worried about various evil that might have occurred, since they were late in returning after begging for alms. She even thought that Dhritarashtra's sons might have recognized and killed those bulls among the Kurus. Had some terrible Rakshasas versed with powers of Maya and firm in their enmity killed them? However, could the great soul Vyasa's predictions be wrong? Filled with love for her sons, these were the thoughts that occurred to Prita, Kunti. Then, late in the afternoon, Jishnu, Arjuna, in the company of many Brahmanas, entered with the Brahmana in the forefront, like the sun surrounded by clouds. 182. Should I keep going?
Yeah.
Vaishampayana said, Prita's two illustrious sons went to the potter's house and to Prita. With happiness in their hearts, those chief among men presented Yagyaseni and said, "See what alms we have got." She was inside the house and without seeing her sons replied, "Share it together." Later, Kunti saw the lady and was miserable at what she had said. She was anxious not to commit adharma and began to think about what might be done. She took the happy Yagyaseni by the hand and went to the Yudhishthira and said, "This daughter of Drupada was presented to me as alms your younger brothers had obtained. O king, O son, as I am in the habit of doing, but in ignorance, I said what I thought was proper, share it together. O bull among the Kurus, now tell me how those instructions of mine don't become a lie. How can the Panchala king's daughters not be touched by adharma, committing that which hasn't been done before?" Having been thus addressed by his mother, the wise king Yudhishthira, chief among the Kurus, sat for a while and thought. He consoled Kunti and spoke to Dhananjaya. "O Pandava, you are the one who won Yagyaseni. It is proper that you should make this princess happy. Let the sacred fire be lit and offerings made. You should marry her in accordance with the proper rites." Arjuna said, "O king of men, since this is not the law that others accept, do not make me tread this path of adharma. You should marry her first, followed by the mighty arm Bhima of wonderful deeds. Then I, then Nakula after me, and finally the energetic Sahadeva. O king, Vrikodara, I and the twins think that the lady should be yours. This is the state of affairs. After reflecting on it, please do what is appropriate, in accordance with dharma and fame and the welfare of the king of Panchala. Instruct us. We are all waiting for your command. Then they all looked at the illustrious Krishna who was standing there. They looked at each other and sat down her image in their hearts. When those immensely radiant ones looked at Draupadi, their love for her arose and put their senses into turmoil. Panchali's charming form was created by the Creator himself. It beguiled all living beings and was supreme to all others. Kunti's son Yudhishthira knew from their appearance what was going through their minds. O bull among men, he remembered Dvipayana's words. Fearing that conflict might arise between the brothers, the king said, "This fortunate Draupadi will be a wife to all of us." 183. Vaishampayana said, hearing the words of their eldest brother, all of Pandu's sons of infinite energy were pleased and began to think about the purport of those words. Suspecting them to be the foremost of the Kurus, the chief of the Vrishnis, and Rohini's son, Krishna and Balaram, then came to the potter's house, where those foremost among men were living. Krishna and Rohini's son saw Shatru, Yudhishthir, with long and thick arms seated there. In a circle around him sat the others like blazing fires. Vasudeva went to Kunti's son, foremost among those who followed Dharma. He touched with his hands the feet of King Ajamida Yudhishthir and said, I am Krishna. Rohini's son went to Yudhishthir and did the same. Seeing them, the descendant of Kuru, were greatly delighted. O chief of the Bharata lineage! The chief of the Yadu lineage then touched the feet of their father's sister, Kunti.
A great illustration, isn't it? It's in a potter's shed. All the Pandavas and Krishna and Balaram coming to see them. It's kind of far out.
And
Intimate.
it's funny that Krishna and Balaram are going to touch Yudhishthir's feet.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Seeing Krishna, Ajatashatru, chief among the Kurus, asked him about his welfare and said, O Vasudev, when we are living here in this guise, how did you manage to track us down? Vasudev smiled and replied, O king, even when fire is covered, it comes out. Who but the Pandavas can display such valor among men? O destroyer of enemies, it was through good fortune that you escaped from that fire. It was through good fortune that Dhritarashtra's evil son and his advisor did not succeed in their desires. Be blessed, prosper, the way a fire hidden in a cave gradually expands and spreads.
This is the thing about you.
Sorry?
Madhavji?
What? I didn't say anything. Somebody else
Madhava.
is muted. Is Madhava there?
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, Madhava. Great.
1 second. I'll just unmute.
No, you're not on mute.
You're on
Now
mute
you're on
already.
mute.
Hello, Guna.
Hey,
We've been cooking and we must have been quite noisy. I've had the kettle on and all sorts.
We didn't notice it.
I thought we were muted. Yeah, cool. No, carry on.
Okay.
Okay.
Vasudeva smiled and replied, O king, even when fire is covered, it comes out. Who but the Pandavas can display such valor among men? O destroyers of enemies, it was through good fortune that you escaped from that fire. It was through good fortune that Dhritarashtra's evil sons and his advisors did not succeed in their desires. Be blessed, prosper, the way a fire hidden in a cave gradually expands and spreads. Permit us to return to camp, otherwise the king may discover you. Then, taking permission from the Pandavas, the eternally radiant one quickly went away, accompanied by Baladev. 184. Vishampayana said, when the two descendants of Kuru went towards the potter's house, Panchala Drishtadyumna followed them. Having sent his attendants away, he hid himself near the potter's house, unknown to those men. In the evening, Bhima, the crusher of enemies, and Jishnu returned with the twins after begging for alms. They happily handed over to Yudhishthir what they had got. Thereupon the soft-spoken Kunti spoke to Drupada's daughter. O fortunate one, first take a portion and offer it to the gods. Then give some alms to a Brahmana. Feed some to those who are needy, and give some to men who are around. Then divide the rest into 2 parts. O fortunate one, give half to Bhima, because that dark youth with a strong body is like a mad bull and is a warrior who always eats a lot. Hearing these excellent words, the chaste princess cheerfully did what she was asked to do, without any doubts. All of them ate the food. Madri's son, the ascetic Sahadeva, quickly spread out a bed of kusha grass on the ground. Thereafter, each of those brave warriors spread out his own deerskin and lay down to sleep on the ground. Those foremost among the Kurus lay down with their heads facing the direction blessed by Agatsya, meaning the south.
The
Kunti,
south, not the east.
mhm.
Okay, interesting.
Kunti lay herself down along their heads, and Krishna lay down along their feet. Though she lay on the ground on kusha grass with Pandu's son like a foot pillow, she felt no grief, nor did she feel disrespect for those bulls among the Kurus. Then those warriors began to talk to each other, wonderful stories about wars, celestial weapons, chariots, elephants, swords, clubs, and battle axes. The Panchala king's son heard all that they told each other during their conversation. His man saw Krishna was lying there in that humble state. Prince Drishtadyumna set out in great haste to tell King Drupada in detail everything that he had heard during the night. The Panchala king was sad because he did not know where the Pandavas had gone. The great souled one asked Drishtadyumna, "Where has Krishna gone? Who has taken her away? It is a Shudra or one of a Is it a Shudra or one of low birth? As a Vaishya who pays taxes placed his feet on my head? As a garland being thrown away on a cremation ground? O son, or is it a foremost man from our own Varna? Or is it one from a higher Varna? Or as a lower being placed his foot on my head and defiled Krishna? I will be happy in my sacrifices if she has been united with Partha, that bull among men. Tell me truthfully, which illustrious one has won my daughter today? Is there any chance that Vichitravirya's son, foremost among the Kurus, are still alive? It is perhaps Partha who took up the bow and shot the target today.
Dina?
Take over?
Dina?
Yeah.
They're just.
Right, Joe. Not today.
Not today. Okay.
It's
So,
my turn again.
Madan, why don't you come back?
I
Yes.
don't take such a long time at the beginning, do I? But everybody else does. Okay, so what
Yeah.
chapter was it, Reg? 184? 185?
185. Okay.
185.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
What's that noise? Water. Okay.
That's
the
Dina
sound.
flushing the toilet.
Oh, you got speaker.
Yeah,
No,
you're
you've
still
got
unmuted.
Can you mute
You're not
yourself,
muted.
Dina?
Madam. You're still unmuted, Madam. I'm making
No, I'm muted. I'm muted.
Am I muted?
You're not muted.
Dina's not muted.
Dina's not muted. That's it. Good. Muted. Good. Well done.
Right, so are we sitting comfortably?
I am very much here.
Right, here we go then. Vaishampayan said, having been thus addressed, Prince Drishtadyumna, foremost of the lunar dynasty, cheerfully told his father all that had occurred and by whom Krishna had been won. Drishtadyumna said, the handsome youth with the long and red eyes, dressed in black deerskin and like a god in his form, who strung that supreme bow and brought down the target on the ground, left hurriedly and without concern. He was soon surrounded by the chief among the Brahmanas who offered him homage. He strode as if he had vanquished Diti's sons, surrounded by the gods and rishis. Like an elephant, bride happily follows the male elephant. Krishna followed, holding his deerskin. Unable to bear that sight, the assembled lords of men were angered and advanced to fight him. At that, another hero rose in the assembly of kings. He uprooted a gigantic tree and drove away those masses of kings like angry Yama strikes down all living creatures. O Lord of men, those assembled kings could only watch. Those foremost among men took Krishna and went away, resembling the sun and the moon. They went to a potter's house outside the city. A lady sat there, as radiant as a flame of fire. Around her sat 3 foremost men, each one like the fire himself. I think she was their mother. Coming to her, those 2 heroes paid homage at her feet and asked Krishna to pay homage too. Leaving Krishna there, those foremost among men went out to beg for alms. It was Krishna who took from them the alms and offered a share to the gods and another to a Brahmana. She then served a part to that old lady and those 5 heroes among men and ate herself. O king, then they all lay down to sleep together with Krishna like a foot pillow. Their bed was made on the bare ground with darba grass on which deerskins were spread. They conversed on various subjects in voices that were deep as dark clouds, wonderful tales that Vaishyas, not Sudras, could speak of. Nor did those heroes speak of Brahmana tales. O king, there is no doubt that they are foremost among Kshatriyas. The stories that they told were about wars. Our hopes have clearly been fulfilled. We have heard that Prita's sons escaped from the fire. From the way in which the bow was strung and the target brought down with strength, from the way in which they conversed with each other, it is certain that they are Prita's sons, living in disguise. Thereupon King Drupada was extremely happy. He sent his priest to them, directing him, "Go and tell them we know who they are. Ask them if they are by any chance the sons of the great souled Pandu." As instructed by the king, the priest went to them and praised them. He told them in detail and in the right order the king's message. The priest said, "O first among those who deserve homage, the king of Panchala, the granter of wishes to know who you are. Seeing the one who has shot down the target, his joy has no bounds. Tell us the details of your family and your lineage. Place your feet on the heads of your enemies. Gladden the hearts of King Panchala, and his men, and mine as well." King Pandu was a dear friend of King Drupada, who regarded him as his own self. He has all along desired that his daughter should be given to the Kaurava as his daughter-in-law. O heroes of unblemished limbs, this desire was always in King Drupada's heart, that the strong and long-armed Arjuna should marry his daughter according to Dharma. After the priest had spoken these words, it was quiet. The king looked at the humble messenger and instructed Bhima, who was next to him, "King Drupada's priest is worthy of respect, and let him be given more than a normal homage. Get water to wash his feet and offerings to be given." O ruler among men, Bhima did as he had been instructed, and he accepted the offerings and happily seated himself. Yudhisthira then spoke to the Brahmana. "The king of Panchala gave his daughter away according to his wishes and according to his own dharma. He set a price, and this brave one has won her in accordance with that. Therefore, no questions can be asked about his varna, action, intention, means of living, lineage, or gotra. All those questions have been answered by the act of stringing the bow and striking the target. In doing that, this great-souled one has won Krishna in an assembly of kings. Since that is the case, the king of the lunar dynasty has no reason to regret his decision or be unhappy. O Brahmana, King Drupada's eternal desire will certainly come to be true, for the king because I think that the king's daughter was unattainable otherwise. No one weak in strength or of low birth or unskilled in the use of arms could have strung that bow and shot down the target. Today, it is therefore not proper for the king of Panchala to grieve over his daughter. No man on earth can now undo the fact that he has succeeded in shooting down the target. While Yudhisthira was uttering these words, another messenger swiftly came from the king of Panchala to announce that the feast had been prepared.
Waha. There you go.
Oh, okay, now this is good. Section 13, Vaivahika Parva. Vivaha means wedding, and this parva is about Draupadi's marriage. The messenger said, because of the wedding, King Drupada has prepared a good feast for the bridegroom's party. Come there with Krishna after finishing the daily rituals. Do not delay. These chariots adorned with golden lotuses and drawn by excellent horses are worthy of being ridden by those who rule the earth. Ascending on them, all of you, come swiftly to the palace of the king of Panchala.
Adorned with golden lotuses.
Hmm.
I wonder what that means. I mean, motives, I suppose.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Vaishampayana said, when he left, all the bulls among the Kurus sent the priest on ahead of them, placing Kunti and Krishna on one chariot. They ascended those great chariots and left. O king, O descendant of the Bharata lineage, having heard from the priest the words of Dharmaraja, Yudhisthira, he kept ready a large collection of things like fruits, sanctified garlands, shields, armor, seats, cattle, ropes, and other objects used in agriculture to determine the nature of the Kurus. The king also completely provided for all objects concerning other crafts and all articles used in sports. Chariots, horses, armor that were shining, great swords adorned with horses and chariots, the best of bows and the choicest of arrows and spears and lances laced with gold, javelins, catapults and battle axes, all instruments connected with war. There were beds and seats and many other objects of craftsmanship. Taking the righteous Krishna with her, Kunti entered the inner quarters of Drupada. The ladies worshipped the wife of the king of the Kauravas eagerly. O king, on seeing those chief among men, with eyes like those of powerful bulls, dressed in deerskin for upper garments, with broad shoulders and long arms that were like coiled snakes, with the gait of lions, the king's advisers, the king's sons, and the king's relatives and attendants were then extremely delighted. Without hesitation or surprise, those warriors then seated themselves on the best of seats with separate footstools. One after another they sat according to age. Well-dressed male and female servants and skilled cooks brought all types of food worthy of kings in plates made of gold and silver. Having eaten, those foremost among men were pleased and relaxed. They examined all the objects that were laid out, and the warriors showed the most interest in the various implements of war. On seeing this, Drupada's sons, the king himself, and all his chief advisers were delighted at having realized that the sons of Kunti were the sons and grandsons of kings. They paid their respects. 187. Vaishampayana said, then the greatly radiant king of Panchala spoke to Prince Yudhisthira in the form that is reserved for Brahmanas and cheerfully asked Kunti's son, should we know you as Kshatriyas or Brahmanas? Are you accomplished Vaishyas or are you born from the wombs of Sudras? Are you Siddhas who use their powers of Maya to roam in all directions and have come here from heaven in search of Krishna?
Good question.
O Lord, tell us the truth, because we are in great doubt. Will our hearts not be content when our doubts have been removed? O scorcher of enemies, will our share of fate prove to be fortunate?
Yeah.
From your heart, tell us the truth. Among kings, truthfulness is a better adornment than sacrifices and arms.
Yep.
Therefore, do not say that which is untrue. O destroyer of enemies, O you who are the equal of the gods. After hearing your reply, I will then make arrangements for the marriage according to what is proper. Yudhisthira replied, O king of Panchala, do not be disheartened. Be happy. There is no doubt that your wishes have come true. O king, we are Kshatriyas and sons of the great-souled Pandu. Know me to be the eldest of Kunti's sons. These are Bhimasena and Arjuna. O king, your daughter was won by these in an assemblage of kings. O king of kings, the twins are waiting there where Krishna is. O bull among kings, let all sorrow be dispelled from your heart. We are Kshatriyas. Like a lotus, your daughter has been transplanted from one pond to another. O
Oh,
great king, this is the truth, Bah, that I have told you. You are like our preceptor and our main refuge. On hearing this, King Drupada's eyes brimmed over with joy. For some time, he could not answer Yudhisthira properly. Controlling his delight with great effort, the king, the conqueror of enemies, spoke to Yudhisthira in the appropriate form. The one with virtue in his heart asked how they had escaped from that city. The Pandava narrated in detail from the beginning. On hearing the narration from Kunti's son, King Drupada censured Dhritarashtra, that ruler of men. Drupada, chief among all men who are eloquent, gave every assurance to Kunti's son Yudhisthira and vowed that he would restore him to his kingdom. On the king's invitation, Kunti, Krishna, Bhimasena, Arjuna, and the twins took up residence in that great palace. O king, they continue to live there, treated with every respect by Yagyasena, Drupada. Later, the king and his sons spoke to those who had been reassured. Drupada said, let the mighty armed son of Kuru today accept my daughter's hand in accordance with the prescribed rites. Today, the moment is an auspicious one. On this, the righteous soul Yudhisthira replied, O Lord of people, then I too must take a wife. Drupada said, O Lord, O warrior, then you accept my daughter's hand in accordance with the rites, or give Krishna in marriage to whomsoever you wish. Yudhisthira replied, O king, Draupadi will be the queen to all of us. O lord of the people, this is what has already been ordered by my mother. I am yet unmarried, and so is the Pandava Bhimasena. Your jewel of a daughter has been won by Partha. O king, it is our rule that every jewel we obtain must be equally shared. O best of kings, we are not willing to break that rule now. According to the prescribed norms, Krishna will be the wedded queen of all of us. According to age, let her accept our hands one after another before the fire. Drupada said, O descendant of the Kuru lineage, it has been decreed that one man may have many queens, but we have never heard that one woman can have many men. O son of Kunti, pure as you are, and well acquainted with the path of Dharma, you should not commit an act that is counter to Dharma, the Vedas, and usual practice. Why has your intelligence become thus? Yudhisthira replied, O great king, subtle is the path of Dharma. We do not know its direction. Let us therefore follow the path that was trodden by illustrious men in ancient times.
Yes, let's.
My tongue never utters that which is untrue, nor has my mind ever turned to that which is adharma. This has been commanded by our mother, and my mind also approves of it. O king, this is certainly dharma. Therefore, act accordingly without hesitation. O ruler of earth, do not have any doubt on this score. Drupada said, O son of Kunti, you yourself, my son Dhristadyumna, and Kunti must settle among yourselves what should be done now. Tomorrow I will do that which is proper. O descendant of the Bharata lineage. Now back Vaishampayana. O king, at that these three got together and discussed the matter. At that very moment, Dvaipayana arrived there in accordance with his wishes. 188. I'll read it
Good
more.
timing.
Eh?
I think you need to read that. I think we need to have a bit
Yeah,
of a
yeah.
conclusion. Yeah, I've got to hear that.
Vaishampayana said, as soon as they saw him, all the Pandavas and the greatly illustrious son of Panchala, Dhristadyumna, stood up. All of them welcomed and paid their respects to the great-souled Krishna, Vyas. The great-minded one returned their greetings and asked about their welfare. He then sat down on a radiant and golden seat. Instructed by Krishna, the one with infinite energy, those greatest among men also sat down on expensive seats. O Lord of the people, after some time, in sweet words, Parshata, that's Drupada, because his father was Prishata, asked the great souled one about Draupadi. Drupada asked, O fortunate Lord, how can one woman become the wife of many without leading to sin? Please explain this to us in detail. Vyasa replied, this dharma has fallen into disuse because it runs counter to the Vedas and common practice. But on this I wish to hear the opinions of each one of you. Drupada said, in my view, this practice leads to a sin because it is against the Vedas and common practice. O best of the Brahmins, nowhere can a wife of many be found, nor did the illustrious ones of ancient times follow such dharma. Those who have wisdom should never follow such adharma.
No,
Okay.
is that me? No,
Adharma. Yeah.
yeah.
I can therefore never convince myself of acting in this way. To me, this dharma appears to be of doubtful morality. Dhristadyumna said, O bull among the twice-born, O Brahmana, O one rich with austerities, if he follows the path that is righteous, how can an elder brother unite with the wife of his younger brother? The ways of dharma are always subtle, and therefore we do not know the ways in entirety. Thus we cannot say what is in accordance with dharma and what is not.
Yeah.
O Brahmana, we cannot therefore perform such an act with a clear mind. I cannot say that Krishna should be the wife of 5. Yudhishthira said, my tongue never utters an untruth, and my mind never turns to sin. When my mind approves, it cannot be sinful. I have heard in ancient tales that there was a lady named Jatila in the Gautama lineage. She was chief among all virtuous women and consorted with 7 sages. O supreme among those who know the path of Dharma, it is said that listening to the preceptor is virtue, and among all preceptors the mother is the foremost. She has commanded us that we must always share what we obtain, O best among the twice-born. Thus do I consider this act virtuous. Kunti said, it is as the virtuous Yudhishthira has said. I am frightened that my words might become untrue. how can I be saved from a lie? Vyasa replied, "Oh, fortunate one, you will be saved from a lie. This is eternal dharma. O king of Panchala, I will not reveal this matter before everyone. You will alone hear how this practice was established and why this should be regarded as old and eternal. There is no doubt that what Kaunteya has said, that Yudhisthira, is in accordance with Dharma." Vaishampayana said, "Hmm." Then the illustrious Lord Dvaipayana Vyas arose and, taking hold of the king's hand, went into the king's palace. The Pandavas, Kunti and Parshata Dhristadyumna, waited despondently for those two to return. Thereupon Dvaipayana explained to the great-souled king how it came to be that these men's marriage with a single wife was in conformity with Dharma. Should we leave it there?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's
That would
really
be great.
fantastic, isn't it? How the this, yeah, it's just the weaving of the story of goodness gracious.
That's it. One more, I think, and we've finished the first volume.
Yeah, amazing, fabulous, God.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, so do you want
Well,
to turn off the recording, Mathura,
yeah,
perhaps?
I will.
We can put something more comfortable on.
Yeah.